So I'm here today with Peter Schwartz, who's a chair with Vistage DC, and we are going to talk about fierce conversations.
Great.
Pete, what is a fierce conversation?
Wow. It's any conversation that needs to happen, where the truth is going to be present, where both parties might be a little uncomfortable.
And these are conversations that we often have to have with coworkers, with clients,
Always.
with partners, with
Yeah.
peers. Why do we not have them?
I think it has less to do with our ability to have them, the right conversational techniques, and more about the story we're telling ourselves about the conversation we're about to have. And what I mean by that is many people have a fear about taking someone on directly, and that story they're telling themselves is what's interfering with the very conversation itself.
So they might say, the person will get mad, the person will start crying.
Maybe they won't like me anymore. And then what happens is a set of actions are designed that show up in the conversation that actually address the fear of the conversation, not the outcome of the conversation.
So because you're worried about not being liked, you have the conversation a certain way.
Right. As opposed to talking about the thing that needs to be talked about in spite of the fact that this is uncomfortable for me.
So what's the single most important thing you have to do when you're having a fierce conversation or you're about to have one?
I think the single most important thing is to get clear in your own self what's the most important thing you want to accomplish and talk about in that conversation. Come from a place of passion and what matters most to you. And then have a shared conversation. Confrontation is two people standing side by side, interrogating the reality. It's not confronting another person.
Now, you talk about interrogating reality. What does that mean?
It's the willingness to look at the truth of the situation and not hide from it.
So it's the willingness to maybe question some assumptions?
Absolutely, the willingness to question some assumptions.
So when someone says, well, I was really busy and I just couldn't get to it and we can't get there.
Really? Was that really true? Those are the kinds of questions.
How do you get better at this?
Practice. The first thing that I would suggest you do is start to self-assess your internal dialogue and find out what might be interfering with the willingness to do the thing in the first place.
Pete, thanks so much.
You're welcome.